Wine Searcher Advent Calendar 2024.
And it is clinging to the sides of the glass.
It's so beautiful. Welcome everyone to day one of Wine Searcher Advent Calendar 2024, Wines of the Americas. My name is Julia Holden and I'm here with David Allen, Master of Wine and Wine Director at Wine Searcher. So David, tell us what's ahead of us for the next 24 days of the Advent Calendar.
Well, at Wine Searcher, we've put together a selection of 24 different wines from throughout the Americas, so predominantly from California, but also with some wines from Chile, Uruguay and Argentina.
Wow.
Hopefully a broad spectrum of different styles, grape varieties, reds, whites, rosés. We've got a sweet wine. We've got Pinot Noir from different regions. We've got various extrapolations of Napa Cabernet. So what we've been aiming to do is to select a set of wines that are really typical of where they come from and show the diversity and breadth of wines and the excitement that you can find from vineyards within the Americas.
Because it sounds like we're really going to be taking a journey here around the Americas and try maybe something we haven't tried before.
I hopefully it'll be a challenging selection, an enjoyable selection, and one that we'll have a lot of fun.
Absolutely. I am so excited to be spending the next 3.5 weeks here with you, David.
Fantastic.
And I'm sure we'll be tasting some incredible wines from all of the Americas.
Yeah.
We'll be having full-size bottles. But David, tell us what the people will have at home.
Well, the idea is that you will have a vial of each wine. There's a 100ml vial, so as I say, we've got a full-size bottle here, but pick out wine number one and we can make a start.
So, what do we have in the vial number one?
Well, it's a Pinot Noir.
Pinot Noir.
It's from a well-known producer in the Russian River region of Sonoma County. It's 2023 Pinot Noir, so this is recently released. It's so recently released we don't even have any critics' notes for it.
Nope.
So it's new on the market, but Lynmar, well-established, popular producer of Pinot Noir. So something I hope is going to be a classic for us to taste. So Lynmar, an estate which, if you look at your booklets here, you'll find is owned by Lynn and Anicia Fritz. They established the estate here in the 1980s, and they've got some of the oldest Pinot Noir and Chardonnay vineyards anywhere in the Russian River region. And it's a region that's become really well known. And during that period, the region's become really well known for producing Pinot Noir and Chardonnay.
I'm noticing that we have some beautiful, very round red wine glasses. Is there a specific reason for that, or?
Look, wine glasses are something that people can get quite caught up about. I mean, these are particularly wine glasses for Pinot Noir. They're quite big glasses with the idea that you can swirl them and you can release the aromas there. What we're saying though is we don't necessarily want people to worry too much about the sort of wine glasses they're using. But if you've got a nice big glass for a red wine, that makes sense. You can release the aromas there. Perhaps a slightly smaller glass for white wines because that enables the wine to stay chilled. You just pour a smaller sample and the wine can go back in an ice bucket or something like that and keep chilled. But yes, I mean, of all the varieties, I think Pinot Noir is probably the one, because it's so beautifully aromatic, that best repays having a special glass. This is a nice glass.
But it's not the end of the world if you don't have it.
No. Okay. Other pointers to look at, this is quite a thin glass. It's a crystal glass, quite delicate. Some glasses you get will have sort of thick rolled edges and that sort of thing. Perhaps avoid those, but a nice sized wine glass with a stem ideally, so that you're not touching the bowl and warming the wine up. But even if you've got stemless glasses, I don't think that's going to spoil people's enjoyment of the wines we've got.
It's good to know, good to know. Okay, so we have our wine, we have our glasses. What's next?
Oh, I guess we better taste the wine, haven't we?
Oh wow, we get to taste?
Oh heck yeah. So, first stage, to look at the colour, to look at the wine, and to see something about its viscosity as well. I can already see, just rolling it around there, it's forming tears on the edge of the glass there. That's quite a viscous wine there. I mean, it's a little bit over 14% alcohol, so I think the weight of the alcohol is doing that. But we're looking at the colour. I think there's a lovely vibrancy to the colour here. It's a fairly dark ruby red. At the same time, it's not a particularly deep ruby red. If I look down through it, I can see the stem of the glass quite easily, so it's not opaque. And that's quite normal for Pinot Noir.
Is it normal? Okay.
Yeah. Maybe you'd find with varieties like Cabernet Sauvignon and Syrah that are more structured, they'll have deeper colour. But for Pinot Noir, that's quite normal. And then if you just gently swirl it there, what you're doing is you're breaking up the surface tension of the wine and you're releasing the aromas into the bowl of the glass by doing that. If it's easier, pop it on the table and just do that.
I need to practice this.
You just have to be careful we don't get it on the floor and the curtains and all that sort of thing. But no, I think we're safe. So once you've got it in motion, you can put it and you get your nose right down inside the bowl of the glass. Have a good sniff. And think about the aromas you've got there. And it's easy to talk about what should you think about in terms of the aromas. I mean, the obvious thing is fruit. And there's some really lovely, I think, red fruit aromas there, perhaps deep, dark red cherries, maybe red plums. But are there other influences there? Like, I mean, can you smell notes from oak? Are there spicy notes or cedary notes?
Yeah, because it says that it's been oaked. So can you tell me a little bit more?
So the wine will have been aged in barrels, in French oak barrels, probably for a period of about a year. And some of that is to give an oak flavour, but some of that is just to allow gentle oxidation to help stabilise the wine for it to be able to age. And so you'll have aromas of the fruit, you'll have aromas of the way the wine's made. So oaking is an obvious thing. You might get some fermentation aromas that the yeasts have given off. You might get aromas with white wine, for instance, where the wine's been aged with the lees, the dead yeast inside it, which gives us sort of creamy and buttery notes to the wine. And so there are a number of influences on those aromas.
So that's something you can say that's an important part and it's important.
I think it's a useful part of appreciating the wine. I mean, obviously tasting it is the main thing, but when you taste, you'll only taste what's on your tongue. If you look at the aromas first, that'll enable you to distinguish those factors when you're taking the wine into your mouth, if that makes any sense, just to separate it out. Because obviously drinking includes the appreciation of the aromas. So let's have a taste and see what we make of it.
Let's taste it.
So what are you looking for? Again, you're looking at what the sort of the fruit components are, what are the flavours you're getting there. You're also wanting to find out what the structure is, about the wine's acidity, about the wine's alcohol. Are there any other production aromas that are coming in there? And then the next stage of tasting is to think about the sort of the balance between those factors. Is the alcohol overpowering the fruit, or is the fruit balancing that? Is the acidity giving the fruit lift, or is the acidity too soft, and as a result maybe the alcohol takes over on the finish or something else? And in terms of quality, we want to think about how well balanced are those elements, what is the intensity of the flavours, what's the length of those flavours. And once you've done that, you can give a rounded assessment of the quality of the wine, rather than just thinking about what its obvious components are.
Wow, interesting. Okay, so what are we getting from this? What are we getting from
Well, I think, and remember, tasting is a very personal thing. I think we've got a dry wine. There's no sugar there. There's no sugary sweetness there. There's a lovely ripeness to the fruit, but that's slightly different. We've got a combination of sort of rich, dark black fruit, dark red fruit. So red to black cherries, lovely and ripe. There's a slightly more structured note, almost as if there's sort of a bit of dark plum in there as well. Maybe some hints, just from the time it's spent in oak, of spiciness, but beautifully well integrated spice.
It's not overpowering.
Touch of anise, touch of nutmeg or something like that. It's not. That is well integrated. It's not particularly overpowering, anything like that. In terms of body, this is I suppose it's a medium-bodied wine. It's not too rich. It's It's got a rounded structure. The wine has what are called tannins, but maybe we'll talk about those later. But in terms of the body, what sort of solid elements there are within the wine is the tannins. The alcohol seems to be reasonably well in balance. I mean, this is
it's a
nearly
14.5%. Yeah.
So
would you say it's a lot for a red wine, or is it quite normal?
Once you're getting much over about 14.5, you're starting to get to the more alcoholic sort of styles of wine, yes. And also think about the acidity. There's a freshness runs through this. It doesn't finish. It doesn't feel sharp, but at the same time the finish is clean, and it's allowing the red fruit perfume to show through there. So there's an awful lot of. There's some really nice balance. There's some quite good intensity. It's a lovely smooth wine. Does that all make sense?
It makes sense. It's a lot of information, but
yes, sorry.
No, it's a lot of great information that I appreciate, and I'm sure everyone at home will appreciate this information. That's why we're here.
Well, and particularly with Pinot Noir, we've got a couple of those we'll look at through the course of the selection. So
we get to compare a little bit.
We'll see some comparisons. We'll see some contrasts with other varieties and other regions as well. So,
I look forward to that.
Going to be a journey of discovery.
Journey of discovery. I love that. That sounds amazing. Okay, David, that's a lot of information.
Yes,
and it's astonishing how much you know about wine. And I don't think we should give away all of the information on day one. I think people will find a lot of use in the booklets, where there's a lot of information about the grape variety, the serving temperature, pricing, owners and winemakers, etc., etc. And don't forget to scan the QR code that will take you to winesearcher.com, where you can search for all the wines, you can explore, and I'm sure as we go on, as we progress, there will be lots of wines that you would love to find and get for your own.
Yeah, and I mean, don't worry too much about what I'm saying. A lot of the information, if you follow the QR code, will
definitely
be on the website. Yes.
Well, that was fun. It's a wrap for day one, but we'll be back tomorrow for day two, where I'm looking forward to more information from you, David. And I look forward to the next wine. I wonder what that's going to be.
Indeed.
Yeah, indeed.
See you then.
See you later.